Hi, in this lecture I will be focusing on the numericals of the inverter, and firstly we can see the formulas. In the last lecture I have already told about the half wave inverters, and over there we have some switches which can be turned on and off. At the input of the supply we have a DC voltage source, and at the output load we have the AC transformation which is happening with the help of these switches, which can be 2 switches, 4 switches and 6 switches, and by plugging them on and off we are able to transform the input DC voltage into output AC voltage at the load side. So firstly we can, before going to the numericals, we can see the formulas, and in order to calculate the average voltage at the load side, if we have at the load side of the inverter the AC voltage coming, then in order to calculate the average of that voltage we are able to use this formula, in which we have E, which is the input DC voltage, we have T on time, uh, and divided by the total time period, and this is the time for which the switches are on, and this is the total time period divided by 2, and we can have rearranging of that formula, and this T on by T is equal to always the duty cycle, and we have a formula to calculate the at the output side the average voltage with this formula. We already know the duty cycle formula, which is D is equal to T on by T, and we have another formula. In the previous formula we have calculated the average output voltage, and in order to calculate the RMS voltage we have this formula, in which we have the duty cycle and the input DC voltage, and then we have this relation by which we are getting that result. For calculating the average output current, we have to divide the average output voltage by the load resistance, and in order to calculate on one of the switch the average output current, we have two switches, so divided it by 2. Then we have to calculate when the output power at the load side, then we have to have this relation, in which we have the output RMS voltage square divided by R, and putting the value of this RMS output voltage, and we have this relation over there. So let's focus on the first numerical, which is about the single phase half bridge inverter, and the diagram is below over here shown, where we have two thyristors, two diodes and two half. We have divided our DC voltage source, input DC voltage source, into two uh, voltage sources. We have the load resistance over there, and we are to calculate these entities. Firstly we have to plot the output voltage at the load side, the output current at the load side. We have to plot their waveforms, and then also the waveforms of currents on the two SCRs as well as on the two diodes over there. Then to calculate the maximum forward voltage which is appearing on these switches, and uh, afterwards we have to calculate the average load current, the average switch current and the power delivered to the load. The average load current is the current coming over here, the average switch current is the current coming in the switches, and the power delivered to the load is the calculation of by keeping into consideration the output voltage and the output current, we are able to calculate the power delivered on the load side. So firstly, to calculate the waveforms of these four, all the we have to calculate the current waveforms on all these switches, and the load and the voltage at the load side, and we have to draw their waveforms. So you can just draw like this. If we have square wave for the voltage, then the triangular wave for the current, because we have at the load side a kind of environment which is coming over there. So we have over here, we have the square wave for the voltage and the triangular wave for the current, because we have a load over here where we have a portion of inductance and capacitance which is not visible to us, is present over there. So in that case we can have different values of voltage and current as a phase change happening over there. And then when both the voltages and currents are at the positive level, then we put an indication of a representation on the side of the SCR currents, because when both the voltage and current are either positive and negative at the same time, then we have put the indications of the SCR currents. And when the voltage is positive and current is negative, or when the current is negative and voltage is positive, in during that interval in the half cycle, for that regions we have put the representations of the diode current. So these diode currents are being supplied by the load, and these SCR currents are being supplied by the supply. So now we are able to calculate the B part, in which we have to uh, analyze that what voltage these switches can withstand, and how these are designed to withstand which voltage. So they are designed to withstand the summation of these two voltages, which is, you can see, 100 volt each. So we multiplying these by 2, and both the switches in the circuit have to withstand these 200 volt. And then for the load current, we have already this formula for the average output voltage, and we have over here the DC voltage, the duty cycle being put over there, and we are able to calculate the average output voltage. From that we can divide it by the resistance to calculate the average load current. And the current which is coming through each switch, we have this formula, which is average load current divided by 2, and this is 50 amps. And then to calculate the RMS voltage by this formula, and then the power by this formula. Similarly, in the second numerical, we are able to calculate the waveforms. We are able to draw the waveforms of all the currents on the SCRs as well as on the diodes. Here we have 4 SCRs and 4 diodes. In the previous case we have 2 SCRs and 2 diodes. So similarly you are able to design the waveforms of the current and current on the load and all the switches, and the voltage waveform on the load. So we have to calculate these all terminologies, and for that you follow the same you can follow the same formulas. After you have drawn the waveform, you are able to calculate the voltage which can be withstand by each switch. So that voltage is equal to 200 volts, which is over here given to you, and this kind of voltage should be withstand where any switch can resist this voltage, so it has to be designed in that way. And then we have to calculate the average load current. For that we have to calculate the average output voltage, which can be calculated by this formula, divided it by the resistance to calculate the average load current, and the current which can be passing through each switch, because we have two half cycles, one in the positive and other in the negative direction. So the current will be divided by 2 with this formula, we are already given with this formula, and the current passing through each switch will be 50 amps. Then you can calculate the VRMS voltage with this formula, and the power at the load side with this formula. Afterwards you are given a PWM inverter circuit, which is not given over here, but you just have to see their formulas. You can first calculate the duty cycle, and the duty cycle which is giving over here is not a correct value. The T on time is given to you like this, and the total time period given to you by this. You have to first calculate the duty cycle, and from that duty cycle you are able to calculate the designated required value of the VRMS voltage, which is given by this formula, and put the relevant values here to get the answer. Then you have to do what? Let me just do the resolution of this file. You are able to calculate, you have given a problem in which we have a three-phase bridge inverter and where the loads are being connected in a Y way. So you have to draw their waveforms keeping into consideration if you have 120-degree conduction mode. So you have I already given you lecture on that, and you are able to draw their waveforms of all the currents on the load side and on the switches. Similarly, for the delta load, you are also required to draw the waveforms of all the voltages and currents. You can do it by yourself. So I come to this formula, this problem in which we have a three-phase bridge inverter in which we have a Y load connected with the 10 ohm resistance. This is the circuit in which we have at the input the DC voltage source. We have resistances over here, and we are able to calculate the if we have 180-degree conduction mode, then we are able to calculate the source current. And for the calculation of the source current, you have to calculate the equivalent resistance. You can do it by this way, which is 15 ohms, and divide that equivalent resistance by the you have to divide the DC voltage, input voltage, by this resistance to get the source current, and then to calculate the total power absorbed by the load and load power per phase. For that you have to do what? You have to multiply the equivalent resistance with uh, the square of this source current, and you are able to calculate the load power, and the power in each phase can be calculated by this formula. By dividing this entity by 3, you are able to calculate the per phase power, and afterwards you are able to calculate the RMS value of the output phase voltage and the RMS value of the output line voltage. For that you have these formulas. The first formula is for the this voltage is this one, this formula you are using, forget about this. So for that you have to for the calculation of the phase voltages, per phase voltages, you have this formula, multiply in this expression with DC voltage to get the per phase per line voltage, because it is the per phase voltage. You can see it is the per phase voltage, and you are able to calculate with this formula. And then for the per line voltage, you are having this formula, multiplying it by DC voltage, and you are getting the per line voltage. Thank you very much.